you're an expert book reviewer. And then secondly, give it some kind of a context if need be. Like what are you trying to do? For the job ad one, you're trying to hire, let's say in my example, a sales rep. So, hey, I'm trying to hire a sales rep for my company. Okay, that general context is really helpful. And then third step, be really specific as far as what you want the end result to look like. So the more specific you can be, the better result you're going to get. And then number four, this is really helpful because if you don't include this, typically it will not, it won't ask you questions. But say at the end, ask me any questions before you give me your best answer. Now, I'll make a comment on that one. Sometimes it comes back with way too many questions, and you're thinking, oh man, if I answered all those questions, I could do this myself. If there's too many questions or you don't want to deal with the questions that it gives you, you can merely say, proceed with the information that you have and it will spit out an answer, and it typically spits out a great answer. I have an example in here where it asked me a bunch of questions. I don't answer them all. I just kind of gave the quick answers, and then it fine-tuned a response. So that is kind of a four-step formula for prompts when you're speaking with ChatGPT. I will try to use this in some examples, and I'm also going to show you versions of where I'm just lazy and I just kind of give it like a quick kind of a prompt. All right, so here's my first example, and it's a book review. So you're an expert book reviewer, and I'd like you to review a book called, fill in the blank, whatever book it is. And I like to start with, give me the top 10 points. You don't have to limit yourself. This is how Chat GPT gets really interesting. You could really expand that. Like you could say, give me the top 50 points if you wanted to. I just said 10. So I have a longtime buddy, John Bryan. He's like, we were talking on the phone a few weeks ago, and he said, "Oh, you got to read this book. You got to read this book. I got to tell you about it. It's about these two guys. One's a beach bum, and the other guy he's like a corporate executive, stock market, like multimillionaire guy. And the book is really cool because at the end, it's the same person. And the book is about having daily habits, and the person in the book lived both of those lives. And he says that the difference is he had these daily habits. So it's just a slight edge. So I'm like, all right, I'll check out that book. So let me kind of walk you through that example. Here's ChatGPT. Hope you can see my screen. And I'm going to say, please give me, you could even misspell and it'll figure it out. Please give me the top 10 points for the book, The Slight Edge. Notice I didn't say, you're an expert book reviewer. I just kind of got lazy. This is the lazy one, and it's going to spit 10 points out. So daily disciplines, easy to do, easy not to do. So why it's thinking, give me these answers, I'm gonna have a conversation with it. Now, that's the biggest difference between the internet and ChatGPT. You can have a conversation with this. So now what I want to do is I want to say, thank you. I'd like to make a daily journal out of these. Please put a date on the top of this. Put a checkbox on the left side and add one line under each point so I can write about if I applied these to my life. All right, let's see what it says. Oh boy. Now, I will say this about ChatGPT. I'm obviously live here, and it's going to give me different responses occasionally. But again, you could have a conversation with it. So I'm going to say, I don't like the black background. I'm just going to say that. And please add. Oh, See, that's not bad. So I'm gonna say, "Now, please add the description of each point." Alright, so you get the idea. You could have conversations, you could tell it what to do. Now, I could print this, I could print a couple copies. Let's say I print 30 copies, and I could make this into a journal. I used to subscribe to an app called Blinkist. I think it was $120 a year, and it would give me summary of, like, the top 10 books. And ChatGPT, it just decimates those kind of things because it could just do a summary.